We're going to start in a minute. Actually, we're going to start now. So I want to welcome everybody to the Queens Republican Club. Welcome to a meeting in our new venue. And we're so happy you could join us tonight. Thank you for coming. We're so pleased to have you with us tonight. And we're going to have a great meeting. So we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance led by our own resident veteran here, Steve Savarese. U.S. Army Sergeant Steve Savarese.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can remain standing, and we're going to have our opening prayer led by Pastor Dana Dice from the Gospel Light Church. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Dana Dice. Pastor Dice.
All right, let's ask the Lord to help us tonight. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for the night. Thank you that we can have this meeting. We thank you for our country. We thank you for the liberties that we have. We thank you for the freedoms. We thank you for the Bible. God, we ask that you would just help us in our country. Help us, dear Lord, to have the true and sincere leadership that we need in our country, and that we as citizens would be true and honest and sincere in our leadership, in our own lives, to have influence upon others, because our communities need it, our city needs it, our country, our state, and we ask for the direction that we need in this. We ask for your divine guidance. We ask, dear God, that you'd help our country. God, we thank you for the unborn, and we thank you for the sanctity of life. And we ask for help with them. We ask for help, Lord, with the children and with teens and all that's going on in our country at this time. It's difficult to raise children today. It's difficult to raise teenagers, and we need your guidance and your direction. Now we ask tonight, as we have this meeting, that God, you'd help us as we hear the candidates, as we hear different speakers. Help us to learn, help us to listen, help us to grow, help our character increase, and help us to make good decisions with what we hear tonight. Thank you that we can have this. We thank you, we praise you, we thank you for our country. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I want to welcome everyone to the Queens Village Republican Club. Once again, America's oldest Republican club. And I just want to make a disclaimer that I was not there at the time of the club's founding. As some of you have heard, there's this rumor going around that I got an autograph from Abraham Lincoln. I did not. I was too young to write at that time. But anyway, we want to have a moment of silence, please, for a very, very dear friend of ours, Florence Maloney. Some of you may know her. She was the founder of the Joint Parish Respect Life Committee, and she was an honoree at the Lincoln Dinner several years ago, I think in 2018, for the Lifetime Achievement Award. She was a woman of valor and inspiration to many of us, to all of us who knew her. So let's have a moment of silence for Florence Maloney. Thank you. And what we're about, this club is about one thing this year, and it's making America great again in 2024. That's what we're all about. It's about saving our country. It's about saving Israel. It's about saving Western civilization from our little corner of the world where our president was born and raised right here in Queens. So that's the theme of the Lincoln Dinner, which you'll hear more about March 3rd. Our great Lincoln Dinner with our great honorees and keynote speakers, and we'll tell you a little about that. But the purpose of our club and the mission of our club is to uphold the principles and spread the principles of the Republican Party and to support and elect those candidates who uphold these principles for public office. And we believe in constitutionally limited government. We believe in maximum personal freedom. These are the principles we believe in. The First Amendment, right of free speech and religious freedom. We believe in the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. We believe in the sanctity of life and traditional family values. That means we believe there are two genders, man and a woman, that's it. There's no more. We don't shop, I should say, at woke establishments and stores. You go woke, you go broke. And that's what we do. So we also believe in, we support free market capitalism. We support the great opportunity in America for every citizen to achieve the American dream. We stand with Israel in its war against Hamas. Israel is the canary in the coal mine. So we stand up, for Israel. We stand up against anti-Semitism, and we support our U.S. Armed Forces. We support our veterans. We support our police. We support our firefighters. We support our first responders, and we support our President Donald Trump. And just, you can see what's going on. You can see that the Justice Department has been weaponized against President Trump. But look back about 8 or 9 years ago, or 10 years ago, before he came down on that golden escalator to announce his candidacy for president, Hollywood, the media, everyone was falling all over themselves to support him. He was on Oprah. Remember, he was on Dave Letterman. And they were fawning all over him. They were asking him to run for president. They loved him. He was even on The View. But then look what happened after he announced his candidacy for president and his first successful term, when we had 4 years of peace and prosperity all over the world and in America. And he's going to bring this back. But they're very afraid. That's why they've weaponized the Justice Department as a sham. And if they convict President Trump, you're going to see an uprising of the people which will sweep them into elections in no time. Everybody's going to vote for him. Because this is a sham of what's happened by the deep state actors who are only out for themselves. And their days are numbered. So that's what this year is about. That's what our Lincoln Dinner is about. And I want to say something about our Lincoln Dinner before we go on to our program. We have a great lineup of speakers and honorees, and the keynote speaker, Morton Klein, who's the president of the Zionist Organization of America, and he is the fiercest, most fearless defender of Israel and the truth. And he goes all over the world, spreading this truth. And he is an amazing speaker. And we produce posters for the Lincoln Dinner. You'll see them in back. This is one of the posters is right over here. We want to announce to everyone in Queens and Western Long Island that Lord Klein is going to be our keynote speaker, the president of Zionist Organization, the oldest pro-Israel organization in America, is going to be here at Anthony's on March 3rd for a Lincoln dinner. So grab a poster and some flyers and get to your local synagogues. Put them in stores, in Jewish neighborhoods, in Kew Garden Hills, in Fresh Meadows, in Great Neck, wherever you are. Get into synagogues. We've got to get people out to hear his name, then they'll come. And we want to bring these people into our club and into the Republican Party. And this is how we unite, we grow, and we take back our country. So we'll hear more about that. But first, let me bring up our chairman for the chairman's report, Joe Buchanan.
Good evening, everybody. I want to let you first know that our membership drive is very strong. I think we're up to about 90% returning, and last year was a bonanza year for us. We picked up something close to 40 or 50 new people last year alone, so that is very, very good. I want to say that our newspaper is thriving, and I do mean thriving, because each of you is delivering this newspaper into the communities of Eastern Queens, all right, maybe someday into Western Queens, and to all other aspects of Queens County. We are feeding the people information that they need, all right? There is a lot going on, as Phil talked to you about. You can talk about freedom, you can talk about immigration, you can talk about the economy, you can talk about crime, you can talk about education, you can talk about just about any issue. The Democratic Party has given our club new life. And I, just as the chairman of this club, I want to personally, if any of you know anybody, all right, and thank them. All right, we want to thank them. All right, if they want to go on a suicide mission and bury themselves, they're doing an excellent job of it. At the national level, at the state level, and at the city level. All right, from the very smallest of us, all right, from our children to the very oldest of us that are having a hard time getting around. So that's what that's all about. Now, Phil stole my thunder. Shame on you. All right? What you're supposed to do is you were supposed to get Jerry Manicato up here. Where is he?
He's right here, but he has to offset.
Come on, get over here.
Right, first of all,
Come on.
I got him outside.
All right, so this is Jerry Manicato. Jerry is the club's historian. All right, and now he's going to give you a little background on Lord Klein. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to speak to you later about the police and firemen. Lord Klein, Phyllis got him up here like Moses, you know, the number one Jewish person in the world. It's not about being Jewish. It's about what Lord Klein represents. He's fighting for Israel and the relationship of the United States to Israel. And right now, we're in a war. The war is between Western civilization and the barbarians. And Israel right now, I'm Christian, but Israel right now is holding the fort for us. It's making sure that the barbarians don't take over. That's what it's about. It's not about Judaism, it's not about Christianity, Muslims, all good people in the world. He has been out there speaking for us for a long time. Once Israel falls, if it falls, it will not fall, but if it does fall, the United States will fall, and so will France and Germany and the rest of it. That's what happens in the world of history. And unless we really back people who are out there fighting for us, we're gonna have a hard time. And I'm also here for the second thing. I'm running a big promotion or game or whatever you want to call it, but it's for the police and firemen of New York City. And we're gonna have this is our third year. And the reason we have it is for the morale of the firemen and policemen. It's a volleyball game. And we try to play hard, and it's a real game. We want to win every year. But this year, it's especially important. I was with my guys yesterday. I'm the fire department coach. And some of the police guys came. And man, they have it hard. This is a big deal to them to go and play volleyball. They have very little, anything good in their lives. They have their families, but the way they're treated on the street, the way they're treated by the politicians, the way the country is treating them, and especially in this state, is terrible. So I'm really pushing this. I want to get Maspeth High School holds February 24th. It's up on the site. Maspeth High School holds 300 people. The fire department will be there. I want to have 500 people there. All right? To root for these guys because they're out there for you every single day. And you know what? They're still going to be out there for you. They're still out there. They still believe in themselves. Just like the fire department. We believe in ourselves also. The bottom line is, it's now time for the citizens, the people, to basically support the things that are good in this world. Not the Kathy Hochul's, not the mayor, not the politicians that have turned on us, but support the people that are out there fighting. Now, just said, Klein is one of them, the police department, fire department is the other. I represent both of them, I'm proud to represent them. Thank you.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Thank you, Barry. All right, we'll be at that volleyball game. All right, the Lincoln dinner is coming up quick, so for board members and other interested parties, our dinner journal, all ads are due in on the 9th of February because we have to get the journal printed and then to the dinner on March 3rd over at Anton's. All right, so we've got that going on out there. If you want an ad, see one of the board members, see me, see Phil, whatever it is. There's no limit to the number of ads we can put into this book. All right, that's one thing. The second thing was our awards dinner. We're already picking up people for it. We start off the same way every year. You know, the first 25, 50 people come in, and then we build up to 200-300 people. All right. This year, we're making a concerted effort to bring in the Jewish community. All right, we want them in there. All right, I said to one of the fellows that came from the poster, I said, you know, it's kind of funny, you know, Queens Village Republican Club standing up for the Jewish community. I said, you know, we need the people who are Jewish in the community and fight. All right, but he explained to me, they're scared. They are truly and genuinely scared. They're scared if they come out and people point them out, all right, that they'll become victims. All right, that's kind of hard to shake. All right, so we have to double down and do our job, make this dinner a success, let the media talk about it. We have some other speakers that we're still waiting on. Donald J. Trump is one. We have not been told no. Hey, all right. We have a link, a direct link to the campaign down in Mar-a-Lago, and I talk to her probably twice a week. All right, and she said nothing yet. They're waiting on court schedules. They're waiting on a lot of different things. All right, in order to find out. We're talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we're talking to Matt Gaetz. We're talking to all of these people, but you have to understand what's going on in politics is incredibly fluid. Incredibly fluid. All right? There's things going on down in Congress, there's things going on worldwide, nationally, that could screw this up for us. So nobody's willing to commit 100% to coming. All right? But we're working very hard at it. All right? Other than that, I can tell you that the state of the club is very, very good and very, very strong. And we appreciate you coming down. We certainly appreciate you, each and every one of you, supporting this club. All right? We are an independent Republican club. All right? Totally independent Republican club. All right? That doesn't sit well with everybody. There's some of us that want us to be controlled. All right? We're not going to be controlled by anybody. Not by anybody, not by any party. We are an independent Republican club. I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Have a good night and enjoy the speakers.
Thank you. And as Joe says, we're one of the rebels, as Curtis Linger always says about us. So tonight's meeting, we had some speakers who could not make it tonight. Greg Garvey is ill, and so we had to reschedule him for next month. Derek Gibson, who's our U.S. candidate, hasn't gotten back to me, so I doubt that he'll show up tonight. I don't even know if he's still running. He won't answer the phone, so we'll see. But at least we have Josh Eisen, who you heard from last month, who's running for U.S. Senate against Gillibrand. We also don't know if Maisie Phillip will show up or not. It's very hard to get word in with the campaign. I've been in touch with the campaign manager, and he keeps saying he's working on it, he's working on it. I don't think she's coming. We're very sorry to disappoint. Last time, they changed her schedule at the last minute. Anyway, we're helping her. We got posters here. We'll hear from someone talking about her. And let's get on with the show tonight. We have our first speaker who's going to make a very important announcement. A member of our board, Arlene Schlesinger, and she's going to speak a very important announcement about the city of Yes and an update on the Creekmore Master Plan.
Thank you for this venue. Okay, this is a beautiful venue, and you really feel that this is a wonderful place for a meeting. So thank you. Hollis Hills Civic Association is going to have their meeting on February 27th. And they will have Paul Graziano, who is the city planner, who gives the lecture on the city of Yes. You will be getting a notice through Phil, through the email, as soon as the email. We are also working to get Paul to come to the April 4th. And you have to be prepared that night to sit through an hour lecture. And everything, the first time I heard the city of Yes speech, it was 900 pages. It's now up to 1,400 pages. So each time you hear it, it gets larger, more complicated. Now, many of the community boards have finished voting. Community Board 13 has voted, City Community Board 13, Community Board 11, and those votes have been tallied. Vicky Palladino's district also voted against it. But there are many who are voting for it, especially in Brooklyn, in much more urban areas. The residential areas are what's in question, in danger. All of Eastern Queens, all these private homes and co-ops are 2/3 of the privately owned homes in Queens. That's a lot. This is your whole section. So if that area goes, so goes Northeast Queens. Hopefully we will see Paul Graziano on the 4th. Hopefully some of you can make it to the Hollis Hills Civic Association. It will be at the Hollis Hills Jewish Center. Okay, and it will start at 7 o'clock. You will be. Thank you.
Thank you. Susie.
You're in charge. Push back. Am I the only one that puts it out? That the mic goes? Sometimes that's the case, but. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I tried to. I didn't get that.
Okay.
That's why I got arrested.
Okay, you'll see these events on our website, qvgop.org, the Hollis Hill Civic event, the police and fire volleyball match. It's all up on our website, plus other events as they happen, qvgop.org. The next speaker we have is going to speak about the Massey campaign. Mark Kronowitz, our board member. Come on up, Mark. His wife would come in a lot prettier. She's going to make an announcement about Maisie Phillip, the campaign.
Hi everyone. As you all know, we're having a special election February 13th to get a new representative for the 3rd Congressional District, and Maisie Phillip is running as a Republican to represent our district. There are 2 weeks left to this campaign. It's a very important election. We can't afford to lose this seat in House of Representatives. So we're asking if anyone's interested in volunteering in the last couple of weeks to do any door knocking or phone calls, maybe hand out flyers at the supermarket. We're going to have a sign-up sheet in the front. Also, this Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning is going to be a get-out-the-vote event at the Knights of Columbus in Flushing. The address is 3579 160th Street in Flushing. And it'll be up on our website as well. If anyone would like to come Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Susie. Also, Susie is our treasurer. She works very hard. Let's give her a big hand. Doing a lot of behind. Susie, rah. Thank you. Next, we have a speaker, our own superstar is with us here, Elena Chin. She's a member of our board. She's our secretary. And she's also the Moms for Liberty Queens Chapter Chief. And she was on a panel at a recent Moms for Liberty Town Hall in Manhattan at the Bohemian Hall. You may have heard about it in the news because it was smeared. It's a wonderful event by what's called Joyful Warriors for fighting for, the issues and the challenges of our educational system to make it better. And elected officials were invited, media was invited, and all they did was smear Moms for Liberty. So Elena will tell us about this great event, which turned out to be a wonderful success.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that great introduction, Phil. I'm going to start with a quote by FDR, who said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear." We lived through, literally, a struggle session revolving around this town hall. From start to finish, it was a nightmare. They smeared, they harassed the Bohemian Hall, they sent nasty emails, they were making phone calls. They put posters up that said, extremists are coming to the neighborhood, help stop them. Donovan Richards.
Further away.
get lost, Moms for Liberty. When we say hate has no home in New York City, we mean it. That goes for groups like Moms for Liberty, a far-right extremist organization who loves to ban books as much as it despises classroom diversity and the LGBTQIA community. Okay, everyone was invited. I want to just say, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine probably got the same memo because his quote was, his tweet was almost identical to Donovan Richard. Okay, Adams was invited, Chancellor Banks was invited, they couldn't make it. Okay, but Mark Levine was definitely able to organize a rally against Minds for Liberty. And he was outside the Defense for Democracy. Also, there were 2 council members, there were 2 assembly members, there was Senator Kruger, I'm just looking, tried to intimidate us, they defamed us, they did everything they could to stop this event from happening. And all Minds for Liberty wanted to do was open up a conversation about the state of education in New York, which definitely deserves some a conversation. And we had great speakers. We had a diverse lineup of speakers. It wasn't hateful. There was nothing. We are not a hate group. There was no hate inside the room. There was a lot of hate outside the room. When I looked at some of the articles and what they wrote about, the lies, I just couldn't even believe. First of all, they said there were more people outside than inside. That's not true. It's just unbelievable. Defense for democracy. Okay, but we're not allowed free speech. But you're out there defending democracy, yelling at a building, banging on drums. It just insanity. Saying anything they could to get under people's skin as they walked in and out. It was just fear, intimidation. And I have to be honest, it was scary. But then I thought about it. I thought about, why am I doing this? I am retired. I could be having a good time. And then I thought that every moment we're wasting, okay, not doing something about this, some child's body is getting hacked up. Some child's mind is getting controlled. And these people are very confused. I'm going to call Taisha and Jim and Aura up to just take a minute to share what they observed during this event. Taisha, Jim, Aura. Jim, thank you. Jim's going to share what was going on outside because I was upstairs on the inside.
Good evening, folks. Yeah, we got there very early for the event to help set up, so I was down at the table, checking people's IDs because everybody, of course, had to be registered to the event to get in. And so I got to see what was going on. These protesters were there for like 2 hours before the beginning of the event. The event was scheduled to start at 7, I think, right? We were there since 4 o'clock. They were out there banging drums, they had horns, they had signs saying Moms for Liberty was book banners and hate groups. And like Elena said, the borough president from Manhattan was out there. And just trying to make things very uncomfortable. And we had a wide array of people there. We had parents there with children that were maybe 10 years old walking in. We had senior citizens coming in. And they were just trying to, it was very uncomfortable. Police were there, they had the streets closed off. And it was just, you know, it was horrible just to see them out there with the signs and yelling and, like Elena said, making people uncomfortable coming in. And on the inside, we had an excellent panel for discussion, but nobody would come in. I don't understand if there's political people there, the borough president, if he has something enough to say, you know, why wouldn't he come into the event and just put in the issues for the panel that we had up there? So, you know, again, it was just very odd to see that kind of protest at such a beautiful event. I mean, we were on the 3rd floor, so these people were banging drums, blowing horns, screaming at the building. Luckily enough, like I said, we were up on the 3rd floor, so we didn't really hear any of that. But it was just, you know, very disappointing that they can't come in. And that's probably from what I saw on the outside.
Thank you, Jim. And I just want to mention that the rally was organized by Mark Levine and the elected officials in Manhattan. they actually organized this rally. Rather than engage in meaningful conversations with the people inside, they just decided to stay outside and organize a rally. Also,
It wasn't the politicians. Politicians are not the people. They'll do whatever they're gonna do to get elected. It's the UFT that is against you.
the UFC was invited. They go
No,
for stage.
the UFT runs those politicians. They give money, they have phone banks, this Levine, right, Levine, all of them. They're all in the pockets of the UFT. The UFT has changed from when I was a member. Shanker, and it was there to some extent. But now, it's just a front group for a lot of different groups. I would bet that 90% of the teachers, the people out there, were young teachers who are in the UFT. They're the group against you, believe me, is the UFT. The politicians are just following them.
Just a remarkable thing, what indoctrination will do, and living proof of why we're having a problem, what the results of this is, what's going on in education. I'm just going to let Taisha talk about some of the people who came in to speak.
To your point, one thing there's a couple of things that impressed me during that night, but to your point, they talked about the recent law about small class sizes, so you would be aware of that, and with small class sizes. So they discussed that the number of students per class is actually already met, so that the purpose of having small class sizes is to have more teachers that feed into the unit until you can have more control. It's not where it benefits the child at all. And the second thing that really impressed me was one of the audience members asked a question about, or she made a statement, asked a question about having children taught by people who look like them. That was very critical to her. She had on her mask, a little difficult to hear her, but she thought that Asian students needed to be taught by Asians, Black students need to be taught by Black students, and that is the best way for children to receive education. And that no one on the panel could address that question because nobody up there was a person of color or a minority, which is completely untrue. It was a mix of women, Asian, Black, up there. So it was mind-blowing because how is it that she can stay in this room, hear what people are saying, and be totally blind to what's going on, and so stuck in her ideology. So the response that, I always forget his name, Charles Love, and I forget the lady's name, who stood up and said, wait a minute, do you not see my color? This is obviously something that's important to you. You can't even see it? So, in response to her question, he says, how is it that someone, I'm older than you are, how can I get an education, but today, you can't? How's that even possible? She had no response to that. I don't think these people really think things through. They just told that this is the way to go, and that's the course that they go on. One of the other things that really that stayed with me is there's a lady in the audience who is with AIDS for Blues, and she asked a very simple question that was very profound. She says, with all the drag queen story hours that has occurred, has reading improved?
Oh my God.
Comment? Yes.
Yeah, one more thing about the UFT that people may not know is if anyone is a civil service retiree, or as I am, spouse of a civil service retiree, the UFT is the main force behind the city's plan to steal your health insurance for retirees by forcing you into Medicare disadvantage plans that are going to deny you coverage when you need it most. And they have slandered members of the Association of New York Civil Service Retirees who banded together to fight it, who, by the way, most of whom are liberal Democrats. But they've stepped out of line, from the woke orthodoxy. So if anyone here is a civil service retiree and you're fighting to keep your health insurance, the UFT is your enemy.
Another comment? Another comment? Thanks for you mentioned, UFP wants smaller
Yes.
class sizes.
Yes, I'd like to tell you that,
I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you mentioned the UFP wants, I can speak out of that. The UFP wants smaller class sizes. Well, that's great. It's a lot easier to teach with fewer students in the class. And that necessitates more teachers. Well, so be it. But the problem is, there's just not enough classrooms in the building. They're always filled, they're always overflowing. So you can't have smaller class sizes. That's it.
Yesterday, there was a protest. Teachers protested about the anti-Semitism being taught in the school, down in front of the Department of Education. I'm positive there were hundreds of teachers, okay, who were trying to make their point. With every business and every institution, all right, having, matter of fact, I have a parent, she was brilliant, her speech was brilliant, the president of Hospital said, every place has inclusion, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, okay? Where is that for the Jewish people in the New York City school system? It's in everywhere we look, there's departments in every.
That's the cause of it.
It doesn't exist.
DEI is the cause of it. DEI is the cause of anti-Semitism. It's a hateful ideology that preaches anti-Semitism, anti-whiteness, anti-Americanism. DEI is our enemy.
DEI divides. The diversity, equity, and inclusion, it divides. It teaches people one is an oppressor, one is a victim. And if you are the oppressor, the victim can basically do anything to you and it's justified. Okay, it creates so many problems in a school, and that's why you're hearing all these incidents everywhere in school. It has the reverse effect. You're absolutely right. And I was in a school building. I'm going to tell you that's the truth. James?
yes, I'd like to let you know that I am too, am also vehemently opposed to having very clean story hours in our libraries and in our schools. They need to be closed right now. Because they're bringing their filth and disgrace to our children who don't need that disgrace. Some kids don't even taught how to behave at watching shows like RuPaul's Drag Race. You know how offensive that show is? They're bringing the mentality from that show into our libraries and our schools. That's not acceptable.
This is a mistake that people are making. They're saying like 90-something% of parents want sex education in the schools. But these parents do not realize what sex education of today is. Sex education is an education of sex, and it's all about sex. And it's things that would make half the people in this room blush. You could go to my table and see what's in the children's literature. It's not just teaching them, in high school, that they can reproduce in the parts of their body. It's nothing like that. And it starts in pre-K and pre-K. So parents don't know. And yes, we are all fearful. We all have fear. We don't want retaliation against our kids. But look what they're doing to our kids anyway. How much worse, what worse things can they do to them at this point? You know, we're worried about our jobs. Well, you know what? When your child's in middle school and you find out that they're changing their gender behind your back, and if you say something, they're going to take your child away from you. This is happening around this country. It's insane. All right, I'll take one more question and I just want to let Order speak. Or comment.
When people say that they want sex education, if 90% of people want it, they're talking about the kind of sex education that we had in 1960. But Sowell has pointed out that the teenage pregnancy and venereal disease were on decline, and they started going up again after 1960. Even with that kind of sex education, it wasn't bad enough that it caused an increase in VD and teen pregnancy.
You're absolutely right. The sex education curriculum today, which they're trying to make it mandatory for K to 12, is written by special interest groups like Planned Parenthood, the gay groups, and not by educators. These are all special interest groups. Educators don't want this stuff. I'm sure 99% of the educators today don't want to take part in any of this. They don't have a choice. Let me let Laura speak.
I am Cora. I refuse being silenced by the left. As soon as I learned that they have planned to protest, I took action before and during the event. Before the event, I addressed an email to all those bastards, excuse my language, so I don't think they have parents, and reminded them that Month for Liberty is not a hate group, that they should take a look at the history of the Democrat Party, the party of white supremacy, the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow law, and the party that opposed all major civil rights legislation. They did not get back to me, but I even included Chuck Schumer and Jimmy Brown. I did it to all those politicians at the state, city, and national level. I haven't heard from them. During the event, I went out and I confronted them. And I reminded these youngsters, because most of them are young people, that they are risking their own future. They don't know what they are doing. And I suggested that they go back to the country that they are supporting to see that they couldn't even go out to protest because they will be shot. And that they should appreciate this country that gives them the freedom at least to go and protest. They didn't say anything to me, probably because I am a black supremacist, whatever you want to call me. But they didn't get back to me. They had no answer, but I did confront them. And I believe we have to do that because they are a minority. And they keep doing this because we always keep silent. So we have to confront them.
So, folks, whatever you hear here, whatever you learn here, please visit my table, get some literature, pass the word on. Our children desperately need our help. They're really coming for our children. It's really hard to believe it's happening, but it is. And they're so vulnerable. And just another word on book banning. Okay, I'm just tired of hearing about this book banning. Okay, the book banning that they're referring to is book banning from the government debt. Okay, the government taking the books away from us that they don't want us to see. What's going on here with Moms for Liberty is we're from the bottom up saying we don't want our kids to have these books, and rightly so. If adults are protected against obscenity laws, then why should children be subject to this? It is obscene what they're looking at and what they're reading. Loopholes in the law, so kids are allowed to see it because it's called sex education. No, this is nonsense. Okay, you can't say honey to someone at your job because the HR department, you'll get a report against you, or you can show children pornography. What's going on? This is insane. We can't be intimidated by these people. We are right, they are nuts. I am not defending my position anymore. I will not defend it. I will not justify a word that they're saying. There's nothing to defend. The children are what we need to defend. That's what needs to be, that's what needs to be, we have to defend them. Not ourselves, not anything else, them. And nobody seems to be doing it. Not politicians, not the union, not, the teachers are afraid to say a word, they don't want to lose their pension, and believe me, they're wicked. They're pretty wicked. I opened my mouth and they were pretty nasty to me. So I do get that. But this is, we're going to look back at this in 30 years and say, oh my God, why did we let this happen? Who are we? And when I go to, I'm going to be on the right side of history. I don't know about anybody else, because I can't even sleep at night thinking of, like, what's happening to my former students. And, like kids that I saw in my office, that may have had a little adjustment problem, or, problem in their family, abuse or something else, and then somebody's going to be out there waiting to convince them to mutilate their bodies and sterilize themselves. And we're actually paying for this, by the way. Public education costs about $40,000 a student in New York. We're actually paying for this to happen to our kids. This is ridiculous. This has got to stop. We have to not be governed by fear anymore.
Okay, folks, let's give it up for Mom's Validity, man. All of these people are board members, and in addition to that, they take on Mom's Validity, and we've got a fighter in Elena. All right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We need a cheer for Mom for Liberty. A lo vivo.
Mom for Liberty. Rah, rah, rah. Thank you, Aura. I want to mention two people who are filming this event. Give them, kudos to Jim Dukas. He's our videographer right here. Thank you, Jim. And also Selena Khan. Thank you, Selena and Jim, for videotaping this event. And you will see the videos of our speakers up on our website. In a few days after the meeting, for the benefit of those who didn't attend. If any speaker, disclaimer for any speaker who doesn't want their video put in public, let me know before the fact, not after. Okay, now we have our next speaker is a person we recently met. And he's a very, very positive force in American culture wars. His name is Phil Kuza, or actually Philippe. Philippe, I got that right, Kuza. He's a musician and a patriot conservative and a patriot. He's a founder of American Conservative Artists. He's an organizer of the Hollywood for the people who are patriots, who want the truth, who want to feel the freedom as they desire without being canceled or banned. He's doing wonderful things. He was also a former NYPD officer. He's a terrific tenor saxophonist, and he played with Bon Jovi, Roberta Flack, and Chaka Khan, and other luminaries such as those. He's doing really wonderful things with his organization, Conservative Artists of America. So let's hear it for Phil Kuza. Come on up and tell us what you do.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here today. I appreciate you guys having me and giving me this opportunity to speak. As you can probably tell, I'm not normally a public speaker, but my name is Phil Kuza. My organization is American Conservative Artists. I'm just a representative, okay? We represent all artists, filmmakers, musicians. I myself am a musician. I studied at City College. And we represent artists, we represent web designers, we represent all kinds of people that believe in the values that are outlined in the Constitution, in the U.S. Constitution, which is what conservative means to us. Some people will say conservative is, they're fascists or they're this because they want to paint a picture. Puerto Rican, well, she passed away, she was Puerto Rican, my father is Cuban. So, and we have people that are gay, we have people that are straight, we have women, we have short people, tall people, all kinds, all shapes and all kinds of people. What we recognize is we recognize that the film and music industry is a very powerful medium. I'm sure you know this, okay? But unfortunately, we've been asleep at the wheel for a very long time. And the forces that hate this country, the enemies that are working within this country and without this country have recognized this, and they recognize the power of the media. The first thing that communist takeover will do is they will take over the radio stations, they will take over the television networks, they will take over the messaging. We've lost that. We're too busy having fun and partying and saying that's a non-issue. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, people that have the values that we have are getting shut out of Hollywood, they're getting shut out of the music industry. You might, if you look at social media nowadays, you're probably going to see Taylor Swift, you're probably going to see her boyfriend, and everybody sees the image that's in front of them. Oh, it's Taylor Swift, I love her music, she's great, she's pretty, and look at that. What a lot of people don't know is that recently, George Soros funded a couple of people that bought her entire catalog, which means they bought not only her music, her images, her pictures, any magazine with her on it, anything that can be sold or marketed, a signature. So while you're seeing her doing something like going, I like Biden, it's very possible that she's being held by her throat, okay? And she knows that the minute she decides not to toe that line, her career is over. If you look at her boyfriend, okay, some people, I don't pay too much attention, but some people have told me, oh, it looks weird, it looks funny. But if you notice her boyfriend wasn't not very well-known football player until recently, right? All of a sudden they're together. But if you look a little deeper, he was the poster boy for the Pfizer vaccines, okay? He was also the face of Bud Light. So once you start putting these pieces together, you start recognizing this. I was very heartened to hear Elena's story. I mean, Moms for Liberty, you guys are heroes. We got a lot of heroes. She's absolutely right. We need patriots that are going to stand up, okay, that are tired of laying down. I'm not telling you to go fight Antifa. There may be a time that Antifa's there and they're saying something, you may have to go, oh yeah, I see your point, or whatever, because strategy is important too. All warfare is based on deception. That's from Sun Tzu. So there's a time for you to lay back and be quiet and let your enemy think that you're in his camp. And you don't know, you might be able to turn that person around, probably not. But anyway, the film and music medium, okay, speaking to Moms for Liberty, speaking to what you said, they give you the image of what happened, that there's nobody inside and all of us are outside, we're fighting hate. But if you saw The Sound of Freedom, The Sound of Freedom grossed $149 million worldwide. It was one of the biggest films last year because there are people out there, even though there's a lot of silent people, okay, that recognize these are our kids, you know? They don't want you messing with their kids. When you mess with their kids, you mess with the mama bears and the tigers and the papa bears too. They're out there too. We need to stand up. We need to unify. What I'm here to say is artists that are out there that are conservative, you know they're fighting for the values outlined in the Constitution, okay? Support those artists. That's what we're trying to do. We try to bring attention. We try to look into the artists, see what they're doing. We know people like Kevin Sorbo. I've spoken with him. He's aware of our organization. There are other artists out there that are conservatives. They haven't exactly come out of the closet yet because of the fear. Kevin Sorbo is a Christian. He's not worried about that. He's worried about going to heaven. He's worried about God. And that's what we should be focused on as well. But we have to save our nation. We have to unify. We have to support each other. our regular businesses too, not just the arts. When you see an artist out there, and you know he's a conservative, you know he's fighting for America, even if he's just acting in a regular movie, we have to strengthen that industry, the film industry, the music industry, the arts, okay, and come together and take back our systems in this country, okay, and save this country, because this country is worth fighting for. The values that are enshrined in this country. It's to form a more perfect union. We're not there. We took a couple of steps back. But we're going back forward, okay? The other side has to lie to get their message across. If you look at most of the things they say, it'll be, you don't poison somebody by giving them a glass of poison. You poison them by giving them a glass of orange juice with 10% poison in it. So if you look at their messaging, there's always lies hiding behind what's going on. Moms for Liberty, they're there to burn books. They're trying to make the comparison, burning books, Adolf Hitler. You know, Donald Trump, fascist. They're trying to make that connection, but it's based on lies. Okay? And people need to see the truth. And one of the mediums that we can use are the arts. Okay? And it's another potent way that we could reach the children and the youth that we need to reach. Because they're not going to listen to a political meeting. They're not going to come here and have fun. They'll be running around or whatever, and that's fine. That's what kids do. But, you know, if you have, like, something like Angel Studios, they're the ones that produce Sound of Freedom. They also have the Tuttle Twins. If you look into their books, they have positive values for children. I recommend them. I'm doing a plug, I guess. And they have values about the Constitution, about starting a business, what is inflation, but they do it in a way that children can understand. So we need to bring the arts forward. We need to support the arts. I urge you, as a musician myself, of course, I want you to support me, but also I'm more focused right now, not on even playing, but I do play, but I'm more focused on supporting the other arts that are out there and getting our systems back and strengthening our country and saving it for the next generation. So thank you for allowing me to speak.
There's time for question or two. We want to take a couple of questions. For anybody for Rizzo.
Did you see that Donald Trump was speaking to the unions? And I think the film industry, the union guys, the libs are going to be very upset. Did you see that?
I missed that, but I'm going to look into that. Yeah, it's true. They want, and also, if you notice the strike that went on, nobody's talking about it. They're like, oh, the AI, it's taking over everybody's jobs. You know what's happening? Patriots like you guys stop going to see this trash that's out there and the propaganda, and the people that are defaming us, and we're giving our dollars to them. Okay? So patriots stopped and said, you know what? I'm not going to go see that garbage. I'm not going to go see that actor. I'm not going to go see that actor. So what happens? They lost money, but they don't want to confess that part of the equation like most other things. And I am going to look into that.
Any other questions?
Top Gun Maverick was a big grossing film, obviously pro-American, pro-military, and yet, you know, I do a lot of reading, really not pushed by Academy Awards or by the industry. Yet, Top Gun Maverick was the start of people going back to the movies. It was the first movie after COVID that got people back into the movies. Do you know the story of what happened, why they didn't push that? That's a lot of money.
On the back of the jacket, one of the bomber jackets was a flag, I believe Taiwan or something having to do with China. Yes, and they pushed to have that taken off, and I believe Tom Cruise put input into that and said, no, we gotta leave that and whatever, and they decided to leave that on the jacket, and I don't think China would do that. So I'd have to do a little more research. I'm always researching different things, a lot of facts to remember.
Because it made no sense.
Yeah,
And they wanted on that.
that was something to look for on the internet, look deeper into it. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes.
I'm sitting right next to you, but nonetheless, for everyone else, what's your guys' website? You guys have a website or a list of artists that we can support? Because I do not go to the movies or watch network TV specifically for reasons that you're talking about, so we would love to support it, if you guys have a list.
We have a fledgling website. Right now, it's just a kind of just to send a message. If you want to send a message to us, and it's American Conservative Artists, that's plural.com.
I guess the Daily Wire has a couple of really good movies. Like What is the Woman? Lady Boss is really funny. And I think they did Clarence Thomas in his own words, which was really beautiful as documentaries.
Excellent. I seen Lady Bold.
Are you a better saxophone player than Bill Clinton?
Better humanitarian to it.
Great, thank you very much, Phil Guzzo. Okay. Now we have a couple of candidates here. Actually, how's it? A little better. Two candidates are here with us tonight who are running for the same office. They're running for Congress in the 5th Congressional District. This is Greg Meeks, is the current congressman there, and we know how corrupt he is. So this is a very, very important election. We have two young men with us here tonight who will tell you a little bit about themselves. Actually, they'll speak just a few minutes. We'll bring them back at a future time to speak more at length. But, now they can say a few words. Maybe if we have time, entertain one or two questions. Primaries are good for the Republican Party. Primaries are good for us. It lets the people have a choice. We're the people, not three men in a room making the decisions for all of us. We have to decide. So that's why we need more primaries. We need more primaries. We need more people to run. We need more people to get involved in the political process. More people to become county committee men and women, state committee men and women, and get people involved in politics, because politics affects all our life. As we say, that voting matters and elections have consequences. So first, let me call up Dwayne Moore, one of the candidates, running on the Republican ticket for Congress in the 5th Congressional District. Dwayne?
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm grateful to everyone to take your time out to come and listen to the important issues, because we care about our country. I worked in education for 5 years in Newark, New Jersey as a ninth grade English teacher and as a college counselor. And what made me decide to run is that simply we're failing our kids. Our kids are seeing our country decay in front of us. Roads are getting worse, infrastructure is breaking apart, we can't keep our trains on the tracks. They're not inspired. We're not giving them a reason to be proud to be in America when they're seeing the things around them are getting worse. And politicians that we keep electing year in and year out give us excuses while the problems get worse. Our students need to know when they go to school, first you identify as a student and you focus on getting your best education. Our math grades are declining, our English grades are declining, science, and the world is passing us by. After I left education, I had the opportunity to travel the world as a music artist, an actor, and a model. Those perspectives, yeah, we have to speak this. Those things gave me perspective of seeing what the world is doing. Studying abroad in China and getting on a bullet train going 300 miles an hour, right? Seeing Europe and seeing how they're building. And coming back to America, my country I love, and seeing year after year it gets worse. We deserve more than that. We deserve more than paying taxes that get higher every year and questioning where the money is going. Seeing that we can do everything to support migrants that are coming over illegally while we left our own veterans out on the street. I stepped over them while I was taking on national transition. We stepped over our veterans, we stepped over our citizens. And I'm tired. As someone that's in the younger generation, I have to say, we have to do better. We need more people that speak up against the nonsense and speak the truth, right? Regardless of what you look like, regardless of party, we are Americans first. And right now, we need to focus on fixing our house before we give money other places. When you're on a plane, the first thing they say is, hey, If we are going down, what do? You put your mask on first, right? You put your mask on first. As a country, we need to put our mask on first. So what I'm saying is we need to invest in America, modernize the New York City transit system to be the best transit system in the world, finally, right? We have the money, we spend the money all over the place. Let's focus on our infrastructure, let's hire our youth, right? Let's bring technical training back into our schools. Let's bring civics back in our schools, right? Let's do the things that bring us together. A lot of the times in the media, they focus on the things that separate us, right? They want us to be tribal, they want to tear us apart. When, at the end of the day, many people care. They care about our country. They care about the kids. You're not racist, right? You're not sexist. You're an American and you have different ideals than other people and you should be able to express them freely. Because we have the First Amendment, we have freedom of speech. And that's what makes us special. So, thank you so much again for the opportunity to speak. This is the first time I'm running. I just couldn't see my country fall anymore without me fulfilling my civic duty and saying, hey, let's build towards the future. And regardless of whatever we need to do, regardless of the differences we have, we need to unite to make America great again together. Because America is the best.
Thank you, Dwayne. I'd like to call our next candidate up, Paul King. Come on up, Paul. Also running for Congress in the 5th Congressional District. He looks great.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, I had to have my wife check me out. I'm sure I'm up to snuff. Before I get started, I want to echo what Phil said and shout out to the Moms for Liberty because the obvious children are our future. You're out there fighting to save America's future, and I'm honored to follow you on this platform. So thank you for what you're doing. And I also want to give some credit to Dwayne, and especially his focus on education. You couldn't be more right. We're failing our kids. We're undermining their future, especially here in the 5th Congressional District. And you look at the numbers year after year, really it's almost like generation after generation now. We fail. And when we fail, we kill the American dream for them. So whether I'm the candidate, you're the candidate, I want to fight and work with you on that. So thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul King. I'm a homeowner, I'm a business owner, a family man, and a civic leader down to Rockaway. I'm 60 years old. I've lived the last 52 years in Queens, and yes, I ran for Congress through Manhattan for the first time in 2022 against Gregory Meeks. Now, people said to me, why would you want to do that? You can't win. And I had a simple answer. America is at a crossroads. All the things that you've all been talking about tonight, we all saw this coming, and as soon as Joe Biden got in the White House with the Democratic Congress behind him, we started going downhill fast. He swung open the door for migrants, and it's crushed them wide open southern border. And we're all feeling the pain for that. He paid off the teachers unions and the other people. He spent money on his special and drove inflation to the roof that hurts regular people. He sicked the Department of Justice on parents. You can just go down the list. It's been awful. So I wanted to jump into the fight right then and there to stop the pain. But I knew that this would be the bigger election in 2024, and this is the biggest election in my lifetime, at least since we elected Ronald Reagan. Now, a quick word on the last time. I like to joke that, I only lost by 7 touchdowns. If you had King at 52 points in Vegas, you won. But the fact of the matter is that the number of votes that we got, and I say we, because so many of the people in this room and around Queens helped me out, is about double the amount that anyone ever got against me. In fact, I actually got a higher percentage of votes in CD5 than Lee Zeldin, the guy at the top of the ticket. And that's hard work and sweat by everyone, because I didn't spend a ton of money.
Where is he?
Say that again?
Where is he?
Oh, it's from up here, go diagonally down to Breezy Point, and then not in Woodhaven, but to the edge of Woodhaven, and then all the way down to Far Rock. So it's pretty much the southern half of Queens.
Oh, wow.
So, and in CD5, the reason we did so well wasn't just that we had great turnout from traditional Republicans. We made inroads. I got great support in NYCHA, so black communities that usually vote Democratic, the Guyanese community, the Hispanic community. And those people who voted for me the last time, they're out there now getting ready to petition. They're Democrats, but they're going to work for us because they know we're right. So they'll petition, they'll fundraise, they'll get out the vote. We got to get out the vote in November. Because ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the most important election. And I know that sounds striking, because I say it all the time. But as an older fellow, thanks Phil, thanks for calling me young. One of the two young guys. I've seen a lot, and I knew how important 1980 was when I was just, 17, 18 years old. This is everyone's got to be in the game, and I look forward to being shoulder to shoulder with each of you, because we've got to take back America in 2024, from the White House all the way down to the State House, and right here to the
Thank you, Paul, and they'll be coming back again to speak at length at our club. And now can we call up our membership chair? I think we have some new members, and we want a group shot. So all new members, please come up. All those who just joined tonight, come on up.
Yeah, Phil.
Okay, we want John Rius. John. Phil Kuza. Come on up. Susanna Hernandez. Dwayne Moore. Come on up. These are our new members of our club. Let's get a group shot together. And make sure you got your pins for our membership.
Thank you, Phil.
And we had a cheer for our new members.
Oh, goddess.
New members, rah, rah, rah.
I'm not the photographer. However, I do. I'm on live on YouTube, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You look like you're doing a very nice job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, we're winding down the beginning right now. So if you didn't get a raffle ticket, please get a raffle ticket from Kimmy in the back, from Laura. We got a great bottle of red wine here and some goodies here for our raffle. So we're gonna, a couple of people want to say, a word or two and a couple of announcements, a couple of brief announcements now. So let me call up first Margaret, who wants to talk about bank your vote. Come on up, Margaret. Where is Margaret? Paul, where's your lovely wife? Oh, okay, we'll call her next.
He's running for office too. He's running for office. Yes.
Oh, we have another candidate here. What's your name? Karen State Assembly, District 25.
Thank you. I actually spoke last month very briefly, so let me just repeat. Again, I'm Kenneth Chu. I live in Assembly District 25. I just switched from a Democrat to a Republican right before Christmas. After 12 years of trying to persuade them and talk some sense to them, and actually fighting, and Charlie knows this, right? Fighting their policies from shelters to expansion of the jails, okay, to changing the SHTP. As many people here that I've heard, our country, our state is changing so fast, but not in the right way. We need to simplify this and go back to what works. And knowing the policies, the promotions again from the Democratic Party, working with them on the operational side. I know their playbook, and I know how they twist things, how they attack candidates, again, attack the parties, and I find it enough. And I'll be chatting Nelly Rosick, who is the current Assemblywoman in District 25. I want to restore New York to be the great place that so many immigrants, so many people have come to go home. I want our seniors and folks that want to purchase their own homes to be able to afford to live in their own homes. I want our children to be proud of the public school or private school that you attend, you know, and I want our businesses, okay, to go back to what it was, where it was making money and hiring more people, instead of finding a lazy excuse to open the borders, bringing millions of people into our country, and to say that it will help our economy. I will tell you, with the amount of money, I don't know how many billions or trillions, with the amount of money that they're spending, they can easily spend it within America on our working class people, on our future. I will have further information in the near future. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Rob Speranza, come on up. Rob Speranza is running for the Senate.
Hey everybody, most of you guys know me already. My name is Rob Speranza, and I'm going to be the candidate for the 26th Assembly District. And if you really get in touch, I'm going to do this against everyone's team. I only lost by a 2-point version, so it's not too bad. I'm like ready for this year. Knocked on over 7,000 doors, and we're going to knock on another 10,000 this year. And that's why we got there for this message. But I really want to thank all of you, because none of this is possible. Like Elena, Joe, myself, we're all retired. We don't need this to move to Florida. We do this because we believe this. We're here because it's easier to go to Florida and nice warm weather all year long, right? But this is where we grew up, this is where we live, this is what we're fighting for. And I couldn't do it without help of all of you guys. And I want to thank you. So basically, you guys are something that keeps this going. And I appreciate it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to our great candidate. And for all of the support that they have they're very courageous people. Now, a couple of words from some people who are here with us. Margaret is going to speak about Bank Your Vote.
Okay, I have one message for all of you, if you can listen up. It is time for Republicans to win. We can't just run, it's time to win. And our strategy for winning is about NewYork.bankyourvote.com. Everybody in this room can go on to NewYork.bankyourvote.com. Let our party know, yes, I'm going to come out, I'm going to vote Republican. This way we can use our precious, limited resources to flip the people who haven't told us that they're going to come out and vote Republican. It's time for us to win. This is what the Democrats do. Come out and vote early. Plan to vote the first day of early voting. In person, but come out the first day. My plan in the last election was to get people out to vote early. But I was going to vote on election day because I am a Republican and a conservative, right? Well, on election day, my father had a stroke. I didn't vote in the last election. Come out and vote in person on the first day of early voting. Go to NewYork.bankyourvote.com. Let our party know you have my vote. You don't have to spend your time and money getting me out. And come out and vote. Thank you.
Tomorrow starts early voting for the special election for the Congressional District 3, where Macy Phillip is running. So make sure you get out for early voting, or on election day, February 13th. If you're in Congressional District 3, do we have any Macy signs left? If there's a sign over here, take the remaining Macy signs and put them out on your lawn. And we have some Macy pop cards as well. We gotta hold this seat. We have another speaker here. Yeah, there's some amazing signs in the back. Make sure you take some. Saturday, I'm sorry. Early voting starts Saturday. This Saturday, 3rd, February 3rd. Right, correct. Okay, now a member of our club wants to say a few words. John, come.
I'm not some tool, I'm not Jackie Chan, but I am somebody. I'm a Republican. Because I am a close friend of Terry Gibson. He's supposed to be here. Sorry, he said he came here for personal reasons. I was with him when he was the governor. He's going to the Senate right now. But he and I, we are like peas in a pod, right? We are Republican, like Bill said, thank you, Bill, for giving me a minute and a half. We are rebels. We are rebel in the rebel. With them. So, with the Republican platform, 99%. But every now and then, it slips away. And that's what I'm talking about. Those 2 seconds. Now, I agree with the speaker. We have to back Israel, right? We cannot deal with Hamas or Houthis, right? But you know what? Those are third-class military. The Israelites can handle them. They can incinerate the whole country. They don't really need our help. We just have to moderate them. You know, the big elephant in the room is Ukraine. See, the domino effect is not going to be Israel defeated and America defeated and the world's going to know. First Ukraine goes, Russia is going to overrun NATO, and we're going to have to spend more money. And you know, that's my little guy in China. He's watching. Huh? He's watching. He's saying, if Putin wins, hey, that means NATO, USA, they don't have any resolve. They're fighting NATO now, and if we lose there, they're going to march in. She's going to invade Taiwan, and this guy, Kim Jong-un, also depend on, he said, hey, these guys are winning. I'm going to kill South Korea. Then we're going to have a real big problem. So the domino effect is this. If we allow Ukraine to fall, NATO will be involved, and people will be drawn in. And we have to spend more money. And our soldiers will be on the floor. So we don't want that. So let's remember, let us not forget Ukraine. We must support Ukraine at the same time and support the war. You can do 2 things. Walk and eat. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I'm giving him 30 more seconds. 30 seconds.
I just want to share my experience with operation with the Democratic Party. Number one, they don't fight Republicans or independent banks. They only target in most districts Democrats because in many districts Democrats to Republicans are 4 to 1, 5 to 1. So they try to activate their base. So as a Republican, it's not enough for me to speak to our fellow Republicans to remind them to vote. And I can tell you from all these years of December, Republican voters vote at a much higher percentage than Democrats. But they have quantity, lots of quantity all over the place. So I hope that each of you can speak to your neighbors, your church, or your association, or civic association, friends, and to ask them to go vote and remind them why it's so important, whether it's public safety or their schools. I mean, there's a laundry list of things that the Democratic Party has been doing wrong. I'm sure you can find one and speak to your friends, and absentee ballot. We know that it's problematic, but it's legal in New York State. So if they cannot vote early or on the day of the election, do the absentee ballot. We need to really boost turnout. Thank you.
All right, so we've got some stuff going on here, and we're going to talk party politics here. Shh. All right. Last cycle, we gave up 48 seats in the New York State Legislature.
48?
48. You know where the majority of those seats were? New York City. All right? So these 2 guys are pioneers. All right? You know what I mean by pioneers? They're getting into the election, all right, where maybe the likelihood of a Republican hasn't run there in a while. And it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be very, very difficult. Everybody's talking about getting out to vote. Is that important?
Yes.
It's very important. But you know what? These guys need your help.
Yes.
They need your help. We ran a candidate where Rob is running, and what Phil found out when we did it, every election district that we actually were competitive in is where we had the candidate and some of his people going in ahead of time. Those districts where we get our candidate in there, we win. All right? But there's something in politics you've got to understand. The candidate has to get out there and has to ask the people for their vote. A lot of times we do that through a proxy. All right? A proxy is who? A proxy is a campaign worker, a palm card, a piece of literature, a phone call, an email. All of these things are part of the campaign process. The campaign is about to kick off in about 3 weeks. It starts with the petitioning process. It starts with signature collection. It starts with handing them into the Board of Elections. It goes with raising money. It goes with attending club meetings. It goes with the Lincoln Dinner. All right? And we hope you're all there. All right? That's what's going on. All right? And then the real party begins. All right? Because then, as soon as we hit May, June, July, August, September, there's nothing you can't do to help these candidates. Now, I know Paul's running, I know Dwayne's running, I know a few other people are running as well. All right? They all need your help. All right? If you can't get out there, get to a phone bank. All right? Make phone calls. Get involved. Somehow get involved. And if you know people who aren't here, get them involved. All right? How many of us have heard from different individuals? Did you hear what Adams did the other day? Did you hear about the 2 students that were knifed up at Martin Van Buren High School today? Did you hear about the immigrants who are hanging out in the park so that nobody else can hang out in the park, or they're too afraid to do it? Did you hear about the 2 cops that got beat up at Times Square? I could go on for a day. I'm telling you, if you see, Greg Meeks is in charge of the Democratic Party in Queens, right? Right. Go up to Greg Meeks and say thank you. Thank you for all the garbage that they're throwing all over this county. Because they're going to make it easier for our people. But we have got to get out there. You've got to get out there. You've got to work with these candidates. Whether they're pioneers, all right, or whether there's someone like Paul who's been out there before, all right, you know, and has been through the war, you gotta get out. You gotta get word out. You gotta get your people out.
Get the newspaper out.
Get the newspaper out.
Yeah.
All right? Get your article into the newspaper. Get your article into the newspaper. Dwayne, get your article into the newspaper. Paul, thank you. Get your article into the newspaper. Continue to do it. Take 100 papers. Distribute them in your community. When people start reading the conservative point of view, they will start to turn. Right now, people do not know what it's like to win. You want to win? You've got to communicate to these people, and you've got to signal that we've got a winning team. The newspaper will do that. Bill, for you.
Thank you, Joe. One more person wants to speak something, a friend of ours, Corrine Albert, from the American Legion Post 103, I think it is. Yeah, Corrine.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Corinne Alford, and I am a 90-year-old woman. I was in the service, United States Navy. I was a nurse, most important thing in life, my father went all over the world. The most important thing in life is for us to live in harmony, for us to love each other and don't dislike people because they don't look like you. It would be kind of boring every day you get up and the person looks exactly like you. Now I told you, God has put us all here. He gave us all a head, eyes, nose, mouth, everything, didn't he? Yes. And when you open up, what do we have that's different? Do we all have lungs? Do you all have a stomach? Do you all have intestine? And when we eat, where does that food go? Is it any different from anyone else? No. So let's smarten up. That's why I like the Republican Party. Because they are inclusive. Right. Yay! Woo! And we are to behave like human beings and love people. If we start loving more, I love all you men. All loving more, and I tell all the people at all of the senior centers, put more love in your heart, and for you women, only flirt with young men.
Thank you, Corrine. Just say one word.
Can I lose the vote? The candidates, please, one of you answer me. What are you doing to avoid fraud? Because I think the last election we lost to Kathy Hochul as a Conway Hochul. I think that the election was stolen. Yeah.
We can talk to the candidates afterwards because we have to close the meeting now. But we have a last call for the raffle tickets for this amazing raffle basket. And we're going to have our raffle drawing.
Now, don't worry about the raffle. I have the winning ticket here. Go home. Don't worry.
Okay, also we got the newspapers in the back. There are a few bundles left. Make sure to take a bundle. Do not leave this meeting without a bundle of newspapers to distribute to your neighbors and local stores. We also have the posters for the Lincoln dinner announcing that Morton Klein, the president of the Zionist organization, will be our keynote speakers. Please take one or two as the flyers to promote it in local synagogues and shops in the Jewish communities. We want to bring them to the Lincoln dinner. So now, how's our raffle collections going?
Yeah, okay.
All right, here you go. I owe him $5. Thank you so much.
Margaret, you want to pick the winning ticket? Okay, mix it up good. Mix it up good. Okay, get your raffle stubs out. Ready? 696. What's the matter? 696. 696, anybody? Joe, is it Joe? Alright, we got a winner! Steve Savage.
Yay! Alabao! Winner! Rah, rah!
Okay, we'll have a closing prayer with David.
All right, quiet everybody. Hey! Laura? All right, we've had a good meeting. Let's pray and we'll head home. Lord, we thank you, God, for your goodness to us in our country. God, we ask you to help us to stand for the right things. Help us to be busy this coming year. And God, use us. Help us in our endeavors. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, let's go. Remaining with the flag salute. 2. After everyone, get home safe.
Your brother. We have the Sunday and Monday. You got it. Yeah.
Thank you.